Live on KEXP 90.3, 92.7 in the Bay Area. We are streaming live all the time, 24/7 at kexp.org. My name is Dr. West. Listener-powered radio, live in the studio with Poison Ruin. Take it away. You are listening to KEXP live in our studios with Poison Ruin from Philadelphia, PA. Wow, they just blasted through 5 songs from some of their complete works through there. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
Thank you for having us.
So the first question I want to ask you all about has to do with your artwork. So I'll invite you at home to go, to your Google Images or pull your Poison Ruin records out of your collection. Think spiked morning stars, flails, chainmail, scythes, things like that. Walk me through, how did the band arrive at this kind of aesthetic? Is that real photography? Is that a person? I want to hear about it.
So every record, except for there's a 7-inch that we did with Roach Leg, Not Today, Not Tomorrow. But every other record, certainly any of the 12 inches, has photography on the front, and I designed that stuff with friends, and well, it's all tied in with the lyrics and everything. There's basically a sort of mythic tone to things, medieval era fantasy, stuff like that, used metaphorically to describe, things going on in our lives. So the artwork is basically a cheap and available way at trying to do that. Was I think the images on the first compilation record, I'm just standing on the roof of a South Philly row home, was the only way to get like an empty background, and I'm sure my neighbors were looking out the window wondering what was going on, Yeah.
You're standing there with a flail on the end, like a spiked ball at the end of a chain.
And like a stocking over my head to black out the face,
Although those things, I have a spiked flail at home and a scythe. They're not cheap, so I don't know if you're getting them.
Well, you just collect slowly over time, right? Well, actually, a big thing that we try to do, it goes into this sort of symbolism of things, is like the majority of the weapons or things being brandished are actually tools, usually associated with work, of some kind that just happen to be able to do some damage if you decide to swing them over your head instead of.
Yeah, and like the flails, like people would use that to like thresh wheat. I was reading a book with my son the other day talking about like how you make bread out of using that flail, right? So like
the flail's a great example because it's sort of it's actually as a weapon a bit of a mythologized thing. They're not sure that it ever really was one.
Oh.
I mean, we see these artistic images of it are maybe sort of fantasized versions of what was just people using what was available to them, which was a thresher for a field or right, exactly.
And that was my second question. Really went into that. It's like I've heard you say in other interviews, not new, like broadswords in punk and metal, those kind of things, switchblades, not new in punk and metal music, but you really do, in terms of a thread, you really do pull that through line, not just into the lyrics, but I also think into the music as well. So is that something you have to be thinking about as a band? What's the process for turning those songs into something that brings that like mythology, that like you're saying, that fantasy, or does it come kind of natural?
It's always like we try to weave it in just a little bit. And usually the way to do that is starting with an idea that's not necessarily a rock, punk, whatever, not necessarily a band arrangement. Take things like old modes and things like that and write a keyboard part and then figure out how to translate that to a band sound without it getting without losing the idea and without it becoming too sort of prog rock sounding or something too overly complicated. Those are sort of the two goals on either side, is to inject some of those sort of not what you usually hear in a band like this but kind of use the classic rules to keep it within a box that still doesn't rub against the just driving rock, punk sound, high energy music.
I think you do that really well. I mean, I think of bands, you're on Relapse record, kind of what folks would consider a metal label. I really think you've got a very pure punk sound, but you do something of balancing those two. Like you were saying with other music that really sounds like very punk all the time, but it's got some of those elements too that are calling back. And being from Philadelphia, I can't think of other bands that do that well, and it sounds good. Does not sound hack more than like some bands from Philadelphia, Sheer Mag and Zorn are a couple I'm thinking of that are close to this station, but also to Sonic Reducer, our punk show.
They're close to us as well. We've got a couple we have members of both of those bands in the room.
Yeah, I imagine I know Jen's a little closer with those folks. I feel without off the top of my head, I bet Zorn's been through quite a few members, but maybe that might be just calling out.
Complete different lineup. It's been a band for almost 10 years,
Yeah.
so it makes sense, a lot of different members, maybe like 10.
All drummers. No, just kidding.
The drummers have stayed pretty solid.
Wow,
Two drummers. A lot of guitar players.
So what's new for this band? You had I believe Confrere and Härvest, those two albums came out in the same year, both on Relapse Records. What's next?
Yeah, more or less. It was within the space. Yeah, 2023 and 2024. Those came out. We have another thing in the works. A big, getting near to finishing something that we're very excited to get out there. That should be coming sometime sooner than later. I don't want to say too much. I don't know. We have something else in the works. That we're very excited about.
That's really, and I'm very excited about it too. Can't wait to see it. The first time I saw your record, Härvest, in the record store, I was just like, I'm getting that. I guess it's probably you on the cover with the scythe in the grass, and I was like, I don't know what this sounds like, but I'm getting it. I have not been let down at all. And I was very happy to see, I think, seems like pretty recently, Relapse reissued a couple of your tapes, like one-sided tapes on an LP too. So that's
right.
Excellent that those are easier to find now.
Yep. Yeah. There's also they also did a compilation record of essentially our demos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being in the studio. This has been Poison Ruin from Philadelphia, PA. You can check them out. You're touring all over the place. I mean, we talked a little bit before, but if you're anywhere in the world, they have either just been there or they're coming to see you. So check them out. This is KEXP. It's Sonic Reducer, and our live in studio is right here at kexp.org. 90.3, 92.7, the Bay Area and Seattle. And my name is Dr. West. It's KEXP Seattle.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.